morning, everyone. It's Saturday, which means it's time for yet another salty Saturday morning. I am your host, Mr. Kadish. Get it right. Joining me, as always, is my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with the man, the myth, the legend. He's here. He's queer. He's our shield against all things intersectional. Brian from the podcast. How you doing, Brian?
That vertical screen is tripping me out. The second you said good morning, all I saw was a gigantic Matt face. Just staring
You loved it.
at me.
You loved it.
Good to be here, man. Sorry I missed you guys the last couple weeks. I was sick, and then Matt canceled the show, so it's mostly his fault.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, and in perfect timing for some sweet Stargate news.
I know, right? It was like it was tailor-made for Brian
Almost.
from the podcast.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of
Almost.
tailor-made,
Sorry, Matt. Almost like I wrote the petition.
almost, yes, indeed. But you didn't get any of the exclusive interview news or anything like that.
But I was made aware of it a little early, so that was
Okay,
nice.
there you go.
But does he have the facts in front of him? That's what I want to know.
He
All
never
the
does.
facts.
He never
All
has
the
the facts in
facts.
front of him.
Okay.
Right in front of me.
But who does have the facts is Odin from OMB Reviews, the Lord of the Shells, King of the Pineapple Pizza. How you doing, Odin?
I'm doing fine. I always get sad every time you remind me of pineapple on pizza because the fact that people even enjoy that just depresses me. So happy to be here, though, and ready to talk about some stuff.
It's delicious, though.
No,
Is
it's
it-
not.
This guy in the chat was like, what's up with the aspect ratio? Because the poor bastard opened it up with his phone, and now he's looking at vertical when he expected horizontal. I'm sorry, Rageous Red. Matt decided to try this vertical thing, and here we are.
I did.
Oh, wait, so that's how
I
it-
wanted to give it a shot.
Wait, so that's how it works? If you watch on mobile, it automatically goes to the vertical mode?
See, I thought it was only vertical if it
In
was
shorts.
in the shorts feed.
Yeah.
But is it on
Maybe it
mobile,
was in
like-
his home feed, and so it automatically defaulted to
You know
shorts
what,
in his
guys?
home feed.
We
I don't
can
know.
solve this problem right now.
That's true. You can pull up your phone.
I just pull it up, dude.
And it's weird because StreamYard, it creates like two separate like
I
streams.
noticed
Links,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so like it's not like YouTube
Oh
can
yeah, no,
unify
it's
them.
vertical. The second I pull
Yeah.
it up, it's vertical on my phone.
Wow.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, see, now I'm in the subscriptions feed, and they're both in there.
Oh, annoying. Okay. Well, failed experiment.
Well, no, because
I
that's
hate
just
it.
people options. We give people options, okay? We give people options,
I
but
mean, it looks like the amount of viewers is the same, so at least we're not splitting the audience. I thought that was going to be a thing, but we're not splitting
Yeah.
the audience.
if
So-
you are one of the 34 people watching the vertical and you hate it, there is, if you go just the Salty Nerd podcast, you go to your subscription feed, both feeds are there. Go with the other one, and you can still access it, even if you're on mobile.
Yes.
Yes.
You can access
choose.
the correct aspect ratio and not this
Yeah.
bastardized vertical nonsense.
I'm going to send a strongly worded email to StreamYard saying that they need to specify which one's vertical, which one is the regular. So, but speaking of which, guys, our goal today is 10 new podcast memberships, Salty Nerd podcast memberships. As you can see, because we never hit our goal, Matt Vader is no longer on the show. Or I should say Dutch Butters. I don't mean to dead name him.
How dare you, man?
Yes, he quit. He's now fully on feetfinder.com. So you can find him over on there, showing off his feats. And if you like us, guys, be sure to share us around because we're trying to hit that 25K sub goal sometime in the next decade. Really appreciate your help for that. Also, check us out at saltynerddiscord.com. We got a lot of our community over there,
I know
and
what
we're
we're doing.
playing video games and doing and looking into the camera very intensely. So
It's,
there's
I
that.
wanted- it's because of how close the shot is
It
on
gets
the
really
vertical.
close.
I'm like, oh, so if I get really close, it's like, hey, I'm coming into your phone right now. Hello.
Yes, we're just going to keep full frame on Odin for the rest of the show.
All right, it's the Odin Show, everybody. So that means we're talking some numbers. We're talking some box
Yes.
office.
We'll get to that in a second. I want to give a big shout out to Mephisto's Movie Reviews. He's got the Real McCoy podcast going on right after this show is over. But you know what else happens right after this show, guys? It's the Brain Show. That's right.
What's up?
Brain misspelled because it's not about the brain, smart stuff. It's about
No.
it's about Brian and his takes on things. So Brian, what's going on the Brain Show today?
Well, of course, we're talking about Stargate. Can't not talk about Stargate. And some Islamification going on in certain parts of the world, including the United States. Trump met with that mayor from New York. and I thought-
Mondami. That was
Mondami.
hilarious.
That clip
man.
going around, man.
That was so funny.
You might as
Really
well just
funny.
say it. You might as well say yes.
It's
Yeah.
it's just easier this way.
It's easier that way. Don't
Yeah,
explain
the
it.
reporter is like, you call President Trump a fascist. And he's like, Mondami whatever his name is, starts to answer. He's like, well, he goes, no. Just say it's fine. It's fine. No problem. We're moving on. No, it's so funny. And we got some other entertainment news to talk about. We're going to talk about some numbers too, Odin.
Oh,
Numbers.
some real numbers.
And some real numbers. And yeah, we're probably going to bring up the Wicked thing and why it's horrible. And a lot of cool stuff. Just fun stuff. Politics, entertainment, my hot takes, a little bit of racism thrown in just for fun. And
Just for
that's
fun.
pretty much the Brain Show. Yeah.
Yep. Is Shane ever going to show back up, or is he?
Yes, he'll be there today.
Okay, great.
And it'll
Awesome.
be a threesome.
Yes, with John Yulden, who I think
John
will be joining us
Yulden.
soon.
Who will be joining us very soon to talk about Stargate.
Yes, John's a big Stargate guy, so I wanted to have him on talk about the news. But speaking of which, guys, we also got Ruby Hoove 9, or Ruby Hoove. YouTube's doing that weird thing where they just show people's handles again.
I hate it.
Gifted one Salty Nerd podcast membership. And we also have Eric Winberg for his obligatory Salty Nerd podcast membership. Thank you, Eric. Can always count on you. Speaking of always counting on people, we got Major Chai Chai, who gifted 5 Salty Nerd podcast memberships.
Chai
Thank
Chai.
you so much, Major Chai Chai. That brings us to a total of 7. We're just 3 away from our goal, guys. Just
So
3
you
away.
notice Major Chai Chai's name and their handle are the same. Thank you for that, Major Chai Chai.
Yes. Way to look ahead. And we got Mephisto for 15 shekels. Remember, right after the show, if you don't like politics, join us at the Real McCoy podcast. And today the movie is Rudy.
Or
Nice.
racist.
Indeed. We also have Hemorrhoid Hurts for $2 Australian. Howdy, friends. It's been a while. 4 a.m. I can do. Yes. Good to see you again, Hemorrhoid Hurts. Know that you're on the other side of the world, so appreciate you showing up. And we also have Foxhound for £1.99. Brian and Shane truly manifested the new Stargate.
Thank you for that, Foxhound, because we did. Our 65,000 signed petition, it was very important. Also, and I'll save the story for the Stargate segment, but I will tell you a story that Shane did not want to tell on our last video, but I will tell it here because it needs to be told. We are 100%, at the very least, indirectly responsible for brand new Stargate.
Oh, we'll get into it. And last but not least, Aaron Charman, who gifted 1 Salty Nerd podcast membership, means we just need 2 to hit our goal, guys. Just dose.
How many before Dutch comes back?
A couple million, probably.
Right.
Wow.
Speaking of coming back, the man, the myth, the legend is here. Brian's boyfriend, John Yulden.
Hi guys,
see
how
you,
you
John.
doing? You all right? Yeah.
Johnny, my lad.
I have to
thought you were
say,
going to say Johnny, my love. It's like,
I mean, I do love
it's like
Johnny.
the bromance is strong.
I do love John. It's true.
love
I
over waters.
admit
yeah.
it. I love John. John is one of my favorite people.
I was going to say, guys, this vertical streaming, it's great because I look so much slimmer on the vertical stream.
It's funny. I somehow look fatter. I don't know. What's going on?
Well, guys, speaking of Slim Shady, let's welcome Tom Connors Jr. to the stream.
He's Slim
I'm fatter
Shady.
than all
Yeah,
you
he's the real
motherfuckers.
Shady.
Yes, just
What's
in
up?
time because, like, Tom, I was really worried that we were going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today without you.
Well, I got to talk about the
travesty.
Stargaze.
Stargaze,
The
too.
travesty.
Yes, but before
Well,
we get
you-
into that, guys, I'm going to hand things over to Odin to talk about some box office news
Box office news.
What news?
because there's actually box office to discuss today. So, Odin,
Oh,
take it
because the
away.
gays and the furries showed up for the
Yep.
box
Yes.
office?
No,
That's
okay,
exactly why.
look. That's obviously a part of the audience, but it's because
large part.
women. No. Let's be honest. Women are the driving force behind this.
Women are
this
so
film.
gay, Odin.
No, I
They
won't,
really
I
are.
won't debate
They
you on
really
that point. But
Totally gay.
just like they came out for Barbie, they're coming out for Wicked too, and I've chosen those words very carefully because it is very true. And it's kind of amazing that we finally have some numbers to talk about right now. The film is projected to domestically have about 150 million plus domestic opening and over 225 million global total, 225 global total, could even be more. What's to be interesting is going to be how much of the audience drops off, because obviously this is going to probably be a bit more front loaded, since the last film actually built up over time with a lot of moms and their daughters coming out to see the movie. The first time around, I think a lot of them are now going to see this thing opening weekend, maybe throughout the first week. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens in its second weekend, because the second act is not nearly as strong as the first in the actual musical. You add on top of that an extra hour's worth of content that is just worthless, unfortunately. And it might be enough to turn some people off from it, but yeah, it's kind of amazing to see, because nothing else is doing anything at the box office, except for Now You See Me, but only in China for some reason. The Chinese like that movie. Who would have known?
Nobody else likes it though.
Yeah,
The
21 million
sequel to
or
that
so in
movie-
China alone.
I'm
That's
actually
insane.
watching that tomorrow with my kids.
I can't
had
even
sequel
believe
to
we
that
got a
movie.
threequel.
I know.
My kids really
See,
want to watch it.
the
so.
sequel to it was one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen in my life.
I never.
So,
Yeah, the first one was
Yeah.
bad enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
yeah,
Somehow it made just enough to justify its existence, and now it's again not doing much of anything except in China.
But Odin, you were telling me before the show started that Predator Badlands has been lying to us all this time about their box office. You want to go into that?
I mean, it's more so the shills that have, been like, oh, it's such a huge hit. It's such a huge success. You just don't understand. You just have so much hate in your heart. How dare you? It's a film that's only made 70 million domestic, 70 million international. When you have a close to 50-50 split between domestic and international, and it's that low after the first couple weeks, and the budget is, as high as it is for the film. Again, not the biggest budgets that we've ever seen before, but still large enough to, raise some eyebrows, as it were. This film is not making its money back. We made some projections last weekend about how it was very likely going to lose like over $50 million, but this week it actually got even worse. I mean, this past Wednesday, it just plummeted, and it's been plummeting every day this week. And really what that helps to show us is that it's not going to hold up to competition, right? Some films are actually able to hold up pretty well. Competition doesn't always drive down numbers for other movies, because if people want to go see a movie, competition is not going to take them away from going to see a movie that they actually want to go see. But when it comes to films like this, where I think a lot of the positive praise for it was very artificial, social media campaign was probably very artificial, and then, of course, the people who are supporting it are artificial too, because when you've got people like John Campea and was it Grace Randolph as well, weren't they all like defending this movie and saying, oh man, this film's actually doing really well and the opening weekend's so good? It's always funny, because as soon as it starts doing badly, they've moved on to something else and they're no longer talking about it, and they don't have to defend the fact that they were completely wrong on this. So yeah, expected to be a financial loss, and if I know anything about Disney, they probably spent more than what they're telling us on budget or marketing, in which case it's probably an even bigger loser than what we are initially seeing right now.
I think the problem with Predator is it overperformed its opening weekend, and then it fell off a cliff once word of mouth kind of and the problem is it has that girl boss image going for it. And again, the movie I've heard mixed to mostly positive reviews, but
Fun movie.
it's just in the wrong place, wrong time.
And
right?
Fanning is awesome. She's great.
Yeah.
She's really great.
Yeah.
Ironically, she's great in The Great, the Hulu show.
She's
So
really great in The Great, though.
that show's fantastic. But
So
Brian,
good.
weren't you saying that that you are kind of like at odds with Odin's take on this because you like the movie?
Yes. See, look at Matt trying to manufacture some controversy here. Like that. He's trying to get me to beef.
You
with
want to talk
Odin.
about Superman?
Well, all right. Let me break it down for you, Odin. You only like bad shit, stuff that is boring. Badlands is fun. It's a heavy metal, literally a 90s heavy metal cover come to life. It's a really good movie that is really fun. Is it a Oscar-winning, award-winning movie? No. It's just a fun movie. Now, people cannot go to watch it because they listen to all the hate people out there and all the crazy critics screaming and raging that make a lot of money off every click they have that says this was bad or this is woke or this is girl boss. Or you can shut the fuck up and enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the movie. Is that what you wanted, Matt?
No.
Funny because my criticism, I don't think I ever even mentioned the girl boss stuff because I don't even think it's really that there. I don't really.
That was me.
To be fair, Odin didn't say
That
any
was
of
me.
that.
That was me.
Yeah,
But there
my
were-
bigger
but there
issue is
were
more
some
of the
YouTubers
but
out there who
Dad,
make a lot
but
of
Dad,
money
I'm a
off
predator.
rage clips.
I care about my dad's relationship
Yeah,
with me and
that's
my
true.
brother. And
You didn't
man,
say that,
it's like
but there's a lot of YouTubers out there who make a lot of money on those hate clicks, bro. They make a lot of money on the superimposing the Predator's face with some trans colors or something, and getting all the crazy people all hyped up about how bad something is. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Look, there's a lot of rage merchants out there. I'm all about rage, but listen, you need to direct it into the right area, or it becomes watered down. You can only say the sky is falling so many times before people stop fucking believing you and your clicks dry up.
what about praise merchants?
I'm not a praise merchant. You know I'm not. You know
was
I'm
the one
not.
before this.
Look, I praise the shit out of Superman though, and I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. I love that movie, and I like this
always
movie too.
said you can like it. I have no issue.
I
if you
liked
like it.
Badlands. It was fun. It was fun. It was a very fun movie, and I like fun movies. I'm tired of every movie having to say something important. Just kill shit, please. It's fun.
Can you at least admit the box office is not doing well for it?
Yeah, that's true.
It's dismal, but I'll
Yeah.
put this in the middle. The thing with Predator at this point, speaking of Prey, not to be funny, is that Prey sold very well on disc. So I have a feeling this movie will make up its back end on VOD, disc.
Ray was good too.
And it will always be in this collection eventually that they'll put together for Predator. And that's what a lot of these companies are looking at is like when they sell the bundles and stuff, it's like it doesn't matter because, Mission Impossible 8 will sell with Mission Impossible 1 and 2 in a bundle. So it doesn't matter that it didn't make as much as the last
Legit,
ones.
I'm already waiting for like the variant cover steelbook of Predator. Badlands.
That too.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Like I'm gonna be refreshing in a couple weeks to see when it pops up. But yeah, it's not doing great in theaters, but it was still a fun movie, and it's worth having in your collection if you like physical media.
Well, do you guys know what is doing great? Is our goal to hit 10 Salty Nerd Podcast memberships. Thanks to Jillian H., the queen of gifted memberships. She comes in with the 5 Salty Nerd gifted memberships, and that puts us over the top. Thank you, Jillian. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jen.
And
Love you.
Cole Hauser for $5 Canadian. The last best great movie I saw in theaters this year was Revenge of the Sith. Hail, y'all. Okay.
I don't know about that, bro.
I didn't fancy Badlands, and I think it's because I'm a loyalist to the original Predator movie, and I just want a Predator to literally be on his own, hunting people, ripping people to pieces. That's just me. Predator 2 I like as well, but it's just I talked to you, Brian, as well about it. I just don't like the look of the woman, on his back talking to him the whole way through.
Listen,
I just
I
want
can
him
watch. I
savaging
can watch
people.
Fanning do anything. She's gorgeous, so I'm cool with it, bro.
That's a whole new
I
film.
was like, yo,
mate. That's
Fanning,
a
you
whole
want to
new
get on
film.
my back? Let's walk around this dangerous woods together and fight vines.
Look, I know that she's like in her 20s and everything, but like all I could ever see in her is the little girl in Super 8. So
From
that
Super
just
8.
sounds weird to me, man.
Bro, no, you're
Again, I
totally
know
right,
she's
though.
not actually, but like in my head, she is still the little
No,
girl
you're
in
totally
Super
right.
8.
So I was doing the Goonies documentary that released this last Sunday. You should go check it out. It's my best work ever. But we got to that section where we were talking about Steven Spielberg and Super 8 and all that.
Mhm.
And I have clips of Fanning. And in my mind, I'm like, damn it. It's ruining my image of her because her face is so distinct and she is a child. And before I remembered that movie, I was thinking how hot she was. And now I'm like, not anymore.
Conscience crisis for you now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been
she's
with
so
you- been with
pretty.
you a
It's
week.
crazy. She's so pretty.
It's called the
And she's a
midlife
good-
crisis,
and
Brian.
most importantly, she's a very good
Trust
actor.
me. Trust me on that one.
She's a good actor. She's a really good actor, and I really enjoy it. And the Great is what turned me on to it. Really, I didn't care about her in Super 8, but when I saw the Great, it made me a fan.
Yeah, that's a great show. Speaking of being great,
I like
guys,
turtles.
yeah, did you know that there's some new turtle news that we're going to talk about, which is the
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
An
Are
all
getting
female
a
remix,
redo.
though.
Yeah, indeed.
Just
But
like Ghostbusters.
So basically, Paramount under the new management, so like they have full control over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IP. So they're really going hard into wanting to make new movies and stuff like that that aren't woke and crappy and animated and all that junk. Beforehand, there was word that The Last Ronin, which is a kind of adult version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was going to be a live action, and they've officially put that on the back burner. So chances are that's not going to get made anytime soon. But what they are doing is they want a 4-quadrant family-friendly version of the Turtles, and they are bringing in the people who did the Sonic movies to handle the franchise going forward. And so this could be a dawn of a new day for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Tom, I would love to hear your take on this.
Fuck you, Rogan. Get away from my turtles.
Yeah.
That's about it. No, I mean, it could be good. I'm hoping for the best. We have not had a good Ninja Turtle movie since 1991 or 2007, I guess. But that's not a really great movie. It's okay. It has some good moments. Now the whole thing with Last Ronin, I know that's pissing everybody off. Look, there was some rumor that jumped the gun saying it was dead. Now, from everything I've heard and seen, even they addressed it in one of these articles, I think the one you had up here, where they said, oh, no, it's not dead. It's just been put in the back burner because we don't want the first thing from Skydance Paramount coming out of Ninja Turtles to be an R-rated bloody movie, right? They don't want to set that tone right off the bat, which makes sense. And to me, if they do it right, it could finally be good, but I'm not going to get my hopes up too high. I mean, the Sonic folks, they fucked up at first, but then they fixed it. So let's not hope that they have the same problem here. Let's hope they get it right off the bat. And
and
people don't want to see CGI turtles. That's the main thing.
To be fair, the Sonic thing was a pretty big deal. Like it's going to be forever go down in pop.
Yeah.
Right, but it's going to forever go down in pop culture as one of those things where fans cried loud enough for a studio to completely change a character correctly.
Well, it's funny because we griped about the Ninja Turtles being so ugly and called them Shrek and everything like that, and the Michael Bay Turtles, and they didn't budge. They didn't want to change them at all.
Right.
But you're right, they did for the Sonic thing. So
it's sort of wild. Like that's a wild thing. And then even so, later on they did that. I think it was the same studio that was involved with that. Also did the Chip and Dale movie. I think it was. And they had a reference to the ugly Sonic in the Chip and Dale movie. So, like, they're self-aware. It's funny how sometimes the studios can get it right, and sometimes they just refuse to budge. And I'm not sure why, but it must have something to do with who's the creative, who is more flexible or whatever. But that change made, in addition to other things, made the Sonic movies very successful. Like, I liked the first Sonic movie a lot. The second one was okay. The first one was great.
Third one was pretty good, too.
Yeah, it was.
But Odin, you know, one of the interesting parts about this article is that now that Paramount's under new management, they've got like all these IPs that they're trying to like kind of like refocus on, and they have like, you know, famously Transformers, GI Joe, stuff like that, stuff that would really appeal to like young men. But they're going hard on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles simply because they outright own that IP. So what do you think in terms of like financially this has for the Paramount Studios?
I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, this is something that's a little bit above and beyond me. But yeah, I mean, I really have not much to say on this topic, to be perfectly honest.
All right. Well,
John,
to
be clear, the ones you did bring up of Transformers and GI Joe, those are actually only licensed.
Yeah.
You were correct that they do own TMNT through Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon bought the Turtles out. I think it was in 2011 or 12, somewhere in there, maybe 2009.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting to see how the Ellisons are kind of like, you know, putting the studio's focus on like certain things. And John, I don't know if the Turtles were a big thing over in your neck of the woods in the UK, but I'd like to hear your take on this as well.
Yeah, I grew up with the cartoon series, the animated series, which I adored. My favorite is still the 1990 movie. I'm in the mindset now of I'm never going to get what I had in 1990. It's always going to be a diminishing return as I keep going forward in life now. I mean, I see people in the chat and they're saying, "Oh, please not CGI turtles," and I'm the same. I just want practical outfits, turtle costumes back in a movie. I think you can do there's no problem with making it family friendly. I mean, that's perfect for Turtles, but it's the last few years, some of the stuff they've done with the franchise has been terrible. I mean, the April O'Neil in the animated one was the standout point for me last time, and it was like, really, just when you think they're kind of going down a route and you think maybe there's someone sensible that might have a good idea, there's also always someone in the team that has a brain fart and comes up with an idea like that. Plus, I didn't like the animation style of that movie.
Nope.
Weird Last Ronin
nonsense. Ugh.
Last Ronin, I'm down for if that does happen. I enjoyed the comic book run. I just and just on a side note, I did speak to Eastman at a Comic-Con a few years ago, and I was talking to him about him and his incredibly beautiful wife. I was talking to him about the Michael Bay movies, and I just said to him, I said, look, I adore the 1990 movie, fantastic, but I have to say those Michael Bay ones suck. And his wife looked at me and she goes, yeah, we know. So that's what they thought of those movies at the time as well. So hopefully one day someone will do it justice, but it's getting harder and harder to believe that's the case as the years go by.
I feel like The Last Ronin is something you do after like 6 successful movies.
Well, the thing I think they're going to do with the Ronin is they're going to try and tie it in with the 1990 movie, which I think would be smart. That means you get, anybody who's still back involved or still alive involved. You get Robbie Rist and the other guys to come back and do the voices. Hell, you can even dig up Corey Feldman if you want to. I don't care.
Can they get Yar Kid K back to do the soundtrack as well?
Let's do that. Let's Technotronic. Let's dust them off and get this thing rolling.
What about Vanilla Ice?
Let's get Vanilla Ice in there too
100%.
while we're at it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Go Ninja, go.
Imagine Vanilla Ice with AI. He could do all kinds of cool stuff.
Indeed. Ninja rap, y'all. All right. Speaking of damaged franchises, guys, did you know that that it was just announced who's going to be taking over the Star Trek franchise for Paramount?
No, this is news to me.
Let me guess. Kathleen Kennedy.
Kurtzman.
No, actually, so it's these two guys, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, and these were the guys.
That's just they're working on a movie. I don't know if they're taking over the whole franchise, are they?
Well, so if you read into this article, basically they're not going to be renewing Kurtzman Trek. JJ's out the door, and these two guys, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, so they're the guys behind the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. They were the writers for that, but they were also the writers and directors and producers of the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie that a lot of people really liked. I thought it was just okay, but a lot of Dungeons and Dragons fans really loved that movie. And these guys apparently also have a movie coming out soon that has been apparently killing it in test screenings. It's called Mayday with Ryan Reynolds. And so Paramount's very big on these guys, and they've tapped them to come in and do the next Star Trek movie. And these guys have flat out come out and said it's not going to have any legacy characters. It's going to be like its own thing with its all new characters within the Star Trek universe. It's not going to have anything to do with the Kelvin timeline or the Kurtzman timeline or anything like that. So basically they're coming in, they're just going to do like a fresh start with Star Trek, which I think, is desperately needed. Like, let's get away from the Kirk Spock stuff for a little while and try some new stuff. But I'm kind of personally very encouraged by this news, because I think that for the longest time, Star Trek has been handled by people who didn't really like Star Trek. And so I feel like these guys do like it. So John, I want to start with you. What's your take on this news?
I'm similar to you, Matt. I'm quietly optimistic about it. I think having them saying that they're not going to use any legacy characters is a wise move, because the franchise has been so damaged the last few years with Kurtzman and co. They really need to go in a direction where nobody is involved with it whatsoever. I also think with the JJ stuff, the first movie I enjoyed. Into Darkness and Beyond were awful. I really do think one thing that is important that they have to do is take approach similar to the production team did with Wrath of Khan when they moved it to the TV studio. The production, they need to slash the budget, because the crazy amount they're spending on these type of movies now, they're not going to get the return that they want. And the final thing I would say is, please give us a Star Trek movie. Please don't give us a Star Wars light or something that is just rebadged to be different than what it is to be a Star Trek movie, which we didn't get throughout JJ and we didn't get in Kurtzman era. That's my take on it.
Yeah, Brian, your channel grew based off of Star Trek and has since died based off of Star Trek. You're not totally dead, but I mean, like, you know what I mean.
He's talking about my second channel. My main channel is doing great. Okay.
Yes, and we love all your channels, but the downfall of Star Trek,
73 of them,
kind of hit you. Right. So, are you filled with any optimism based off this news?
No, not until I see something. I mean, the guys are good writers, so if the studio stays out of their way and doesn't demand the writing room be filled with trans representation, black representation, women representation, if they don't make the writing room some kind of like gigantic inclusion survivor, then yeah, maybe it'll be fine. If they're allowed to just do what they do and there's no DEI woke crazy rules and regulations around who they're allowed to bring into the room as creatives, it can be good. That said, I do believe that they should not touch the original canon. They should Voyager this thing. And new crew, yeah, it's tangentially connected to the original canon, sure, whatever, but it needs to be a new crew outside the system. Like, let us fall in love with Star Trek again before you start trying to bring in a bunch of member berries and all that stuff. If you play around in the original canon, another thing too, for the love of God, please go forward in the timeline.
Yeah.
Do not pick another random place to inject your stupid story because you're a coward that is too afraid to move the franchise forward. Just go forward. I know I glazed Terry Metalis here, but he went forward in the timeline. For the love of God, he went forward. Go forward. Please do not go, we're going to be exploring the time when Khan was, shut up, stop it. We're going to go backwards when stop it. Just go forward, please.
Discovery went forward, didn't it?
900 years because they were so ashamed of themselves. They were like, no, we're going to skip everything you care about and go so far into the future that you don't have to worry about us. That's what they did. They basically invented their own little time branch. All I'm saying is the new creatives, if they're allowed to actually work their craft and they have the balls to carry the franchise forward, then maybe they can do really well. But my suggestion is, don't touch any of the old cast and crew. Don't go back to that era. Go forward in the franchise. Pick another ship. Don't call it the Enterprise 2.0 or Enterprise, G Part 3 or whatever. Make a new ship. Like, just have the intestinal fortitude. Have the testicles to create your own story within that universe going forward. And if you do that, at the very least, even if it's subpar, I will have respect for you. I will have respect for you that at the very least, you had the balls to do what we've been doing, what the studio's been doing before 2003 for 50 years. Please.
I mean, I've got a pitch, guys, for what they could do for the first movie. It's their own Section 31, where they're hunting down all of the Kurtzman characters throughout the universe and just eliminating them and purging the universe so we don't have them again. I've got the scene of Tilly running down a deck, with a laser sight on her back right now.
You just described my entire playthrough of Star Trek Timelines on Steam. Pretty much what I did.
I stole it.
Oh, I'm supposed to recruit people? I thought we were supposed to kill them. Uh-oh. Tilly's running her fat ass.
Burn marks on her disco t-shirt. Yeah.
There you go. Tom, I want to throw this to you because like we were kind of talking about this with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle news, is that Paramount really seems to be focused on wanting to go more like they call it 4-quadrant, like family friendly, appeal to every race, gender, age, all that stuff, with their biggest franchises. And they're trying to do that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it seems like they want to do that with Star Trek based off of the hiring of these two guys. What's your take on the Star Trek reboot?
Well, I was reading through the article, and I don't see Kurtzman mentioned anywhere, so I don't want to get my hopes up too high. Because I have yet to, because there's been some rumors
Bro, he
going
wrote
around.
the article. Look at the byline.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he probably did. Because that's the thing with Kurtzman is I don't know. From what we've heard, he's got his hooks into Star Trek pretty good. So just because these guys are making a movie does not tell me that Star Trek Kurtzman Trek is done on television just yet. Now, fingers crossed.
Way out though, right?
I hope
Contract
so.
ends in March of this coming year.
I hope so. But we have not, like, we've heard them say a few times now that JJ Trek is done. Right. Which, as we know, is technically a separate thing in its own kind of.
And Bad Robot's been pitching Prime, and he's part of Bad Robot. I wouldn't be surprised if he left Paramount to go work for Amazon.
There's that rumor too. So I mean, again, I don't want to get my hopes up too high until they actually say there's a brand new TV show coming, and Alex Kurtzman has fuck all to do with it. Then I might get my hopes up a little bit.
It'll be based on the success. If the movie is successful, then I guarantee you, then the TV show will be based on that movie.
But Brian's pretty much right. Just go forward. Quit living in the past when it comes to Star Trek. Star Trek is supposed to be the future, not the past. If anything, re-embrace the original show. Get the retrofuturism feeling going.
5-year mission.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Tom, in the show notes, there was another article from Empire Online.
Okay.
And this one I think was a little bit more telling because they have this line right here where it says, leaving all thoughts of the Kurtzman verse and Kelvin timeline behind, Goldstein and Daly's take on Star Trek, though highly secretive at this stage, is expected to offer fans and franchise newcomers alike a completely fresh take on the universe Gene Roddenberry created almost 60 years ago.
Send me that article then, because that gives me a little bit more hope. I mean, it is an editorialized line.
You do know that when I email out the show notes, all these links are in there, right?
Do you realize that I don't check my email? Like, I get 500,000 emails a day.
Just saying, I already sent it to you, but
I do not want an Asian blow-up doll. Yes, I know I got the loan finance for my car that I already bought.
Can you please forward that one to me, Tom?
I will.
Thanks, man.
Did someone say the last one?
Wait, I can't because I don't check my email, Brian. You didn't just listen to what I just said.
A true friend. Thank you.
It's just easier this way. Then I can send it straight to Andre.
Speaking of true friends, Odin, what's your take? I know that you're not a Star Trek guy. You've watched some of DS9, which is the best.
All of DS9. Thank you very much.
All of DS9, yes. But do you think that Paramount's on the right track with this rebooting of Star Trek?
I mean, all I could ever say on this is what I've heard from like diehard Star Trek fans, and I think it's very clear that actual fans of the show and actual fans of the IP, they want real Star Trek again. And so, I don't know if rebooting it right now is necessarily going to be the best thing, because just like with like the MCU and just like with those other massive IPs and massive properties, I do think that they need to take a little bit of a break, a little bit of breathing room, because I think that what they need to do is they need to get someone who's an actual fan to help game plan the future and to say, all right, let's do 2, 3, 4 series and have it be set in these future places, or like things that, as was being mentioned, right? Things that are forward in the timeline, try not to like mess up things that have already been previously established, right? Trying to come up with ideas, maybe even for films or spin-offs or other things like that. And so that way they have an actual game plan to push forward with it and to say, all right, let's maybe get a testing series out to see how things are going, to see if the interest is still there. And then that way you give a little bit of space between crappy Star Trek and then what hopefully can be good Star Trek again. I think that would be the best path going forward. So yeah, I do think rebooting would be helpful, but I don't think doing it right away would be helpful necessarily if you want to try to get the most audience. But the main thing is, no matter when it happens, it needs to be good Trek again. And if you're not going to get that at any point, then it's just not even worth pursuing anymore.
Yeah, and I will say that I think J.J. Abrams is solely responsible for the sorry state of Star Trek, because like Brian said, like I remember back in the day when like the Next Generation crew took over the movies, right? And then like you had like DS9 and Voyager on TV and stuff like that. It was almost like the golden era of Star Trek, right? And then like for some reason JJ's like, hey, let's go back to the original cast, recast them, and throw away everything that they ever did. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, like the 2009 Star Trek was cool, but it wasn't really Star Trek. Like it was just like, it was like fan fiction almost. And that's what JJ Abrams seems to excel in, is like creating fan fiction.
It was a cool idea though. It was like, I want to make my own version of Star Trek while also appeasing these fans. But I always thought this like branch timeline thing, and it just got sort of convoluted.
Yeah, I always thought that the universe of Star Trek was so big and rich that they could have done what these guys are doing like way back then, where basically you create like a new crew just for the movies,
100%.
and you show their adventures and you go forward in the timeline, and you're not stuck like destroying canon and all this other stuff.
And still to this day, the big thing that still pisses me off about it is the fact that he destroyed Vulcan and he just destroyed Romulus. You didn't need to do that. Well, that would have been, you could have done it without it. But I
didn't have such a problem with that, John, because it is in its own separate timeline, right? But the problem with it was, and I agree with pretty much everything that was said here, because 2009 isn't the worst movie. Even the Star Trekiest of Star Trek fans were like, yeah, it's not great Star Trek, but it was entertaining, or the cast was good, or they would usually find something good to say about it. It was Star Trek Into Darkness. That's what people need to remember, because that was where J.J. Abrams literally treated the fans like fucking idiots.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, dude, we know what you're doing, and he's like, no, I'm not. It's like, yes, we know what you're doing.
Oh, it's not Khan. It's not
Khan. Trust me, it's not Khan.
It's never
surprise, guys. It's Khan.
And
it's like, yeah. See, we don't care about that part so much as you destroyed the fucking character.
Yeah.
Right. You destroyed it.
And the flip of Khan of Spock and Kirk in the chamber.
Yeah.
Wrath of
the
Khan.
whole thing was so stupid and convoluted, which is sad because the first half of that movie isn't so bad, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but there's like certain elements in it that are really good, and it's like I like this idea of a Star Trek universe that is an offshot timeline,
right,
where this thing happened in the past, and now we're much more militaristic than we were in the original timeline.
Yeah, I actually
that
like
is an interesting concept to kind
everything was bigger.
Get into, and they even steal a scene from The Godfather 3, and it works in the movie when when Kirk finally realizes that, oh shit, we've got a bunch of very important people in one place at one time. Something bad is about to happen, and Khan comes up and shoots everybody with that helicopter. That's literally a ripoff of the scene from Godfather 2 and Godfather 3 when Zaza fucking kills all the other Godfathers.
It was cool though.
Yeah, but it made it work. And then you get to the second half of the movie and you're like, of course we know it's Khan. And they get this convoluted bullshit with the bodies and the missiles and all this other bullshit and the magic blood. And then like John said, you swap the characters just so you can have Spock show. That was JJ's other thing. He kept wanting to have Spock show emotion. It's like, you do realize part of the gimmick is the more emotion he should be showing, the less emotive he is, right? Like that's the kind of Spock's thing. So like, he just in that movie, he told us, I don't understand Star Trek. Right, like that's exactly what he was saying with that whole movie.
It's funny because I think Quinto understood that, and so there was a little bit of a disconnect.
A lot of pushback and stuff. Well, in the third film, I know John said he didn't like the third film, but the sad part about the third film is that's the most Star Trek of all three of those films.
Absolutely, you're totally
because
right.
of Robert Orci, and that's about it. Yeah,
it's the most Star Trek of all the movies, and it feels the most contained too.
I think beyond the thing that just was ridiculous for me is, like you said, Tom, about that Godfather 3 scene. They then have the scene straight after where Khan can now beam himself across the galaxy.
Yeah.
So sorry, we've got transporters, and you've completely just thrown that in now to fit your part of the movie.
I was just waiting for him to like walk through a Stargate. It's at some point. Well, but to be fair, they did establish that was technically possible in that universe when they beamed Kirk in the first movie.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say at least they did that. Yeah.
Tom, I do want to fact check you on something real quick. Roberto Orci had nothing to do with Star Trek 3. That was
right. His
Simon Pegg. Yeah,
that's right, because his version was deemed too Star Trekky.
Well, it was
that is
him.
The truth.
It was him and the showrunners from Rings of Power who worked on that script originally, and Paramount was just like, no,
too much Star Trek in it. They said.
But from those movies where it was Spock show emotion, Star Trek Strange New World said, yeah, hold my beer. We're going to make him far more emotional.
We're going to make him gay.
We can all agree here. Those movies and that militaristic version of Star Trek, that universe that was disconnected from our Star Trek Prime. It was its own universe, its own branch timeline, right? That was still 10 times better than whatever the hell Discovery and Strange New Worlds was. 10 times better.
Don't forget Lower Decks.
And they actually sort of like Lower Decks.
Oh, fuck you.
You know why? Because I don't take it seriously. It's just
the problem nonsense. Is they do, Brian, and that's why I hate
know,
it.
But I don't. I took
if it was meant to be a satirical show, if none of it actually was canon,
crap, man. It's just
I mean that's the problem with Lower Decks is it's technically canon. It's like,
right?
Wow.
I don't look. I didn't. Yes, I get what you're saying. I didn't look at it as canon. I just looked at it as stupid.
Yeah, if it was just an off thing, I'd be like, whatever. But yeah.
But the thing is, the JJ movies, like, had they made TV shows out of that, I don't think Star Trek would be in the horrible place it is currently.
That was the original plan. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes,
you did. You did the video on it too. So we did ours years ago, but yeah.
But the thing is, had they continued with that as the TV show, it wouldn't be in such a horrible place it is now. Because worst case scenario, you could say, well, I don't like this, but it's not touching what I already love. It's its own branch universe timeline thing. Like, we can all get on board with that and be like, it's okay, or whatever. It wouldn't be absolutely hated the way Discovery is.
Don't you think, guys, as well, talking about going into the future with Star Trek as opposed to going back into the past, there's a laziness and a lack of confidence from writers that they believe they can create interesting species and characters in the future. So that's why they sit back in the past, because they've already got that play set of characters that they can jump into in the past, the Klingons, the Romulans, all of that. But you need someone with the balls that can jump forward and say, I'm going to create new characters.
I get what you're saying. I just think they're cowards. I think they're afraid to go forward because, and I think most of these writers are afraid of taking on the danger, the risk of having to go forward in such a beloved storied franchise. And so it's safer, it's easier to play with the tool set you have in the past.
That's a big part of it, right? Well, and the thing is, it's kind of like this whole thing with the cultural stagnation we're dealing with all over the place, right? It's like the studios only want to do known IP sequels, rebootquels, remakes of things that they can, and it's all because the marketing department knows how to market that, right? They know how to market a Star Wars movie. They know how to market a Star Trek movie. But the thing is they don't know how to expand upon that anymore, right? Like, they don't know how to add more to the mythos. They don't know how to give you something fresh in that universe like they did in what few IPs they were reinvigorating in the 80s. But now they're not creating anything new. I mean, how long has it been since we've had anything new? Now, Star Trek, it's our father's, franchise, to be honest with you. So, like, at this point, these studios need to kind of look past a lot of these things and go like, yeah, they're great, and nurture them for our generations and quit worrying about getting all these new people in, because that's what they're trying to do here with all this stuff. And hopefully that's what Ellison is doing. He's seeing through the bullshit and going, yes, we need to get rid of this Kurtzman stuff. We need to get rid of this JJ stuff. Because guess what? A new audience doesn't fucking matter if it's not built on the core of the original audience, right? Like, that's the thing. And that's what they have forgotten with Star Wars, Star Trek, and all that stuff. And the other side of it is they want to be able to throw something in there like a Kirk or a Spock to where they can bank on that, right? Like, that's what look at what Discovery did. They couldn't bring in other characters fast enough, right? Before long, we had Spock in there, Pike shows up. Didn't they even bring Kirk in at one point? And it all kind of melded into Strange New Worlds. I don't know. I quit watching after the second season because it literally got bad for my mental health. Like, I had to beg Andre to let me quit watching Star Trek Discovery. I'm not even kidding. He's like, the ratings are bad enough for us as well. I believe I can let you stop watching it. The torture will cease.
Tom, you bring up a good point, though, and I think that this is something that most studios and most people in Hollywood don't understand, is that the reason that these legacy franchises have lasted as long as they have is because, people pass down their love to, like, the younger generation, like, they grow up liking it, and then, wash, rinse, repeat. And the issue is that Hollywood, they're like, oh, we got to go after the younger crowd, or like, the minority crowd, or like whatever the case may be. And it alienates that core fan base that then stops trying to get like, their children into it and stuff like that. Like here at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention, which is like the biggest Star Trek convention on the planet, I'd see fathers with their sons all the time, and the sons would be into it because their fathers introduced them to it, showed them the episodes that really got them like, addicted and into the universe and stuff like that. And I feel like the more that they kind of like, the more studios alienate those, older fans, the more that the harder it becomes to appeal to the younger fans. Cause like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're on TikTok, they're on, their phones, they're, they don't have like they have Sonic and Mario and stuff like that. They don't have Star Trek and Star Wars and things of that nature.
Well, even
anymore.
Sonic and Mario are technically ours too. That's the other thing. Same thing with Ninja Turtles, which we talked about earlier. I mean, that's what I mean, is none of these kids really have anything of their own. That's why they gravitated towards the Minecraft, because it was the closest thing to their own thing. And if the studios can figure that shit out and start putting their effort into that kind of crap and leave Star Trek and all the other stuff alone and let the nerds have it like they're supposed to, then it work out for both parties, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of letting the nerds have it, we have some super chats to get to. First of all, Mexican Iron Man for $9.99. Let's agree on this. Superman gun sucks. Snyderverse is coming back, and I'm hosting a special Salty Saturday Hanukkah show with special guest Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, let me guess. Cosmic Book News, the Mike Zero of DC Universe right now. Like, look, I posted this, what was it, yesterday or the day before? Look, I think it's kind of hilarious. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Yeah, some Saudi prince could come in and buy Warner Brothers for the pure notion of just trying to bring back the Snyderverse. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that were to happen. First of all, you'd have to buy...
Real quick, let me just give some context to the viewers who might not be up on this.
Sure.
So, Warner Brothers is basically on the chopping block up for sale. There's been a lot of rumors that the Saudi Wealth Fund or Investment Fund, whatever it is it's called, is putting in a bid to buy it. And then there were all these pictures online, they may or may not have been AI generated, of the guy who runs the Saudi Wealth Fund with Zack Snyder and, a bunch of other people. And they're saying once Saudi buys Warner Brothers, are going to fire James Gunn and reinstate the Snyderverse. And that's been on the Snyder Bro Twitter all week. So go ahead, Tom.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, so I posted this basically the other day. It's like, okay, so first of all, let's just say, for the sake of argument, this were to happen with the intention of this is what they were going to do. First of all, you'd have to buy James Gunn out of his contract, right? If there's still any of it left by the time the sale goes through, right? Because once they actually decide to buy it, there's how much red tape and paperwork that has to go through to get this sale going. Okay, let me tell you this right now. You say it's on the chopping block. I disagree with that. The only reason we're having a bidding war right now for Warner Brothers is because David Ellison started it. That's it. That's the only reason we're having one right now. And as far as I can tell, unless somebody comes in and slaps in an offer that's much better than what Disney paid for Fox, Zaslav is just going to say, this is great. You made my stock go up, and now we're going to spin the company off and do what we're going to do anyway in the beginning and break it up. Because that's what I've been hearing for a while now, is unless somebody comes in and slaps like an $80 billion offer on the table, that this is not going to happen. Because they're lowballing the fuck out of Warner Brothers with this. You guys got to remember how much Fox sold for. Fox didn't have shit. They didn't fuck all. They didn't have nothing. Name me one true Fox IP. I'll wait. Predator, that's it. Alien, that's it. That's all they got. They got nothing else. They didn't own Star Wars anymore. They don't own any of the other stuff that they licensed out, like X-Men or anything like that. So at the end of the day, guess what? Fox was not worth the $70-some billion that Disney paid for, but that's the number that's on the market now. Warner Brothers is worth a hell of a lot more than that. And then you get the other part of this. Let's just say all those things come into play. So now we're already, 2-3 years down the line? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Snyder just happens to be sitting on a finished script, which I guarantee you he's not. That means he has to start casting and get all these actors together and get all their schedules lined up and get all these contracts together again. And I'm going to tell you what, Ben Affleck don't want to put that fucking costume back on. Who wants Amber Heard or Ezra Miller in these fucking things? And let's talk a little bit about Jared Leto while we're at it too. So you got all these fucking people. Henry Cavill is the only one who's shown any real true interest in wanting to do this. And then the other side of this is who wants to be the one to go tell fucking Jason Momoa that he's got to be Aquaman now again instead of Lobo.
Yeah.
Who wants to have that fucking conversation with him?
I'm good. I'm not having that conversation.
So that's just one of many things. So we're talking 5-10 years down the road before we could even get a Snyder movie off the fucking ground before this happens. So guess what? That means Batman's going to be in a fucking walker. Superman can barely fly because he'll be limping around. Wonder Woman will be collecting Social Security. I mean, that's where we're at here. And that's if even Gal Gadot comes back.
Tom,
Right.
10 years down the road, they're just going to be AI clones of.
That or that.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to get rebooted again before we get the Snyderverse back, possibly.
look,
but
the
I'm
only-
not going to say it will never happen, but it's
The only way
slim
it
to none.
happens is if some Saudi prince buys it and he doesn't care about capitalism or making money. And
he's
he
got all the
throws-
money in the world. Exactly.
And he has all the
yeah.
money in the world. And he just
I
and
want
he
my
loves
collection.
Zack Snyder, and he throws Zack Snyder about, and he's like, making me the end of my franchise. And they make their end of their franchise because he doesn't care about making money. If they reboot DC again, DC is done for like 15 years.
I love your Saudi accent, Brian. You know what else I
Yeah.
love? Are super chats.
No, that's
I
what
thought I
I
was
had
Indian.
to say to that. Sorry.
Caveat ties, a member for 2 months. Sometimes I get sick of edgelords adults complaining about making IPs kid friendly. It's fine to have stuff I can watch with my kids.
Well, we saw
That's
that with
true.
Superman, right? Not to stir up that pot, but we were just talking about it. I mean, look, I get it. A lot of people got used to the super serious emo Jesus allegory Superman, but guess what? That only exists in the Zack Snyder movies and a few comics, mostly Miller comics, right?
Well,
So
there's a bigger issue here to address Caveat's comment,
go ahead.
which is basically it's harder to make family-friendly stuff that appeals to both adults and kids, and it takes
That's
actual
true.
talent as a storyteller to do that. It's much easier just to make things like gory or violent and throw in cuss words and stuff like that, because it just is, right?
And make
it's
it dark and cool.
it's
Way
and it's also
easier.
and it's also easier to just dumb things down to the point where it's like, hey kids, eat this mush. So like I think that's one of the big things really is that so many people who work in Hollywood that produce these things just aren't talented enough to do something that could appeal to both adults and kids. Just saying.
And the stuff they're giving to adults is in many ways slush too.
Yep. And Rec Thoughts, member for 1 month. Trek should connect to Berman, but yes, move forward. So in the Berman verse is what he's saying, I guess.
Right.
And then we got Fluffy Panda for $5. I've been worried I've been agreeing so much with Brian, but then he opens his stupid mouth about Trek and all is right with the world. Alt Trek sucks.
I
Wow.
love you too, Panda.
Oh, Fluffy.
Glad to see you, buddy.
Brian says a lot of shit, so at some point you're bound to at least agree with one or two things he says.
Yeah,
I
look
guess.
even a broken clock is right once a day, bro. So
Yeah. And guys, speaking of being right, our top donator, Scotty Dub, has returned victorious for $100 super chat. Thank you, Scotty. A very happy Saturday to all my favorite salty justice warriors, including that nice man from Essex, John Yulden. Wishing everyone a happy early Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Scotty Dub. Good to see you
Nice.
again.
Yeah, he's here
Haven't seen you in a
classing
while.
up the joint.
He really is.
Yeah,
Very
as
much
if.
classing up the joint. Very
No,
much.
we don't got no fancy accents.
But guys,
Well, this is
But-
Dorset accent, by the way, everybody.
yeah,
just so
guys,
you
you know
know.
what else is
Still makes
classy?
you sound smarter than us.
You know what
It
else is
does.
classy, guys? It is Amazon for bringing back Stargate. Finally,
yes,
after so long from buying MGM,
Yes!
they finally decided, hey, we've got this really popular, valuable
Well-
IP. Maybe we should do something with it.
The beauty
Um,
of it is the Stargate leads to Richard Gere's ass this time.
I wasn't even right about once a day. Yeah, sorry guys. A broken clock's right twice a day.
Twice a day. Twice a day. Twice a day.
So, guys,
Yeah, Stargate.
yeah. So Amazon put out this announcement that basically the Stargate is getting some much needed love. It is coming back as a TV series from Martin Garrow, who worked on some of the previous Stargate, or pretty much all the previous Stargates.
Yeah, all the previous
Um,
targets.
Yeah, and he was a story editor on SG1, I believe, and then like he kind of graduated to producer and writer on Atlantis and that one universe that I hate. But anyway, so it's not only him coming back though; it's basically a bunch of people like Brad
Everyone.
Wright. and Joe Malozzi. Although they're coming on as consulting producers, so I don't know like what that exactly entails. But essentially, like this was big news. Like they came out, did like a big YouTube reveal about it.
Joe doesn't want to have to leave Canada to give his input on the.
Yeah.
new
But
series.
the big news here is that they're saying it's not a reboot. Everything that came before is still canon. It's just an extension of what's already come before, and it's probably going to have a new crew, new adventures, new bad guys, all that stuff. And so they're very excited about it. And frankly, I'm excited about it because I've been a long time Stargate fan. I loved the movie when it came out. The original series, I started watching it when it was on Showtime, back when they were showing full Bush on there.
Oh yeah.
And
Bush,
and
full frontal, man.
And
blatant.
Yeah, and huge fan of Atlantis, you know, the show that gave both David Hewlett and Jason Momoa their big breaks. And so like I've been in love with Stargate for a long time. I was very sad when everything ended very abruptly and unceremoniously. And then it's just been kind of languishing for a long time. Like I thought that when Amazon bought MGM, it would have been like one of the first things on the docket to like get out there and get rebooted.
And it
because
technically was.
And it does have like this like huge worldwide fan base that is very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been just kind of out in the desert for like a number of years because of this. But you know, because of people like Brian and Midnight's Edge and stuff like that, who have their connections and have the like, you know, their inroads into the behind the scenes machinations. I've been hearing bits and pieces about this coming together, and finally it's out there. So Brian, what can you tell us about the journey of this reboot, or I should say, new chapter
revival
in the Stargate universe?
Yeah, you're totally right. When they bought the zombie studio that is MGM, out of all the 5,000 plus IPs that MGM had, Stargate was in the top 10 for like what you can make profitable quickly. And so we expected Stargate to happen pretty quick. And to be fair, there was a team that was working on, and Tom knows this, RoboCop and Stargate. The team that was working on RoboCop and Stargate were the same team. Like they were working on both projects. And that team, we actually had someone.
They were going to make a show called RoboGate.
Yeah, it was called RoboGate. It's where RoboCop was actually
goes through the Stargate,
and he goes through the Stargate. Yeah, no, but they were working on both shows, and we had a friend of ours in one of those groups, and we got a lot of great information. Well, what happened was when they were finally in the middle of trying to make Stargate happen, RoboCop had gotten its first writer. Then that writer was fired, and then they finally they went to Brad Wright and they said, Brad Wright, we're thinking about restarting Stargate. Can you give us a spec script? First off, it's disrespectful to go to the creator, the co-creator of Stargate, and ask for a spec script, but whatever. Brad Wright turned one in, and they ghosted him. They didn't like his script because his script continued from where Universe left off. It wasn't a new show. It was basically tied to Universe. And at the time, that team did not like the Universe cast. They didn't feel like Universe was the way to go for a revival, which I agree with.
They were right.
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah.
And more interestingly, they didn't want to deal with David Blue. Apparently, David Blue is difficult to deal with. And they're like, we're not doing it. We're not talking to David Blue. So they didn't even call him back. Well, we told Brad Wright. We like broke our NDA, and we're like, Brad Wright, they don't like the Universe stuff, bro. You should resubmit something else. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. Well, they went to the Expanse guys, Penguin and Aparka, Hawk Otsby, whatever his name is. And they went to those guys, and they're like, hey, can you put together a pitch for Stargate? And they did. And it was supposed to be like this MGM Plus exclusive thing. And they wanted a bunch of money, and they wanted a 3-season guarantee. And Amazon was like, no, we're not giving you a 3-season guarantee. And the reason the Expanse guys wanted a 3-season guarantee was because they didn't get that guarantee initially with The Expanse, and The Expanse almost got shut off. In fact, if you recall, they had to do the renew The Expanse thing, and Jeff Bezos had to get involved to get a conclusion to The Expanse. So Otsby was like, no, I'm not doing that again. I want a guarantee where I can tell this story properly. Well, Amazon said, no, we're not going to give you a guarantee, and the amount of money you're asking for is too high. We'll give you tops $1 million an episode. For an ensemble Stargate revival is insane. So they went back to the drawing board, and then the writer's strike happened, and they just basically pulled out entirely. Our contact told us that they actually had a teaser lined up, and they were going to tease the announcement pending finding a writer and a showrunner. And then the actor's strike happened, and all that stuff happened, and they shelved the teaser, and they didn't even go back. Well, about 3 months after that is when they reached out. Someone got a brain over there. And listen, I'm not talking about our contacts. Like, the interesting stuff about the people that were actually running this thing is that they're real Stargate fans. It's the people above them that were pretty much knocking everything down. Well, guess what? That leadership changed. The same team was in place that's in place to do RoboCop and Stargate that was managing that transition. They're still there, but their leadership is different now. And their leadership basically said, "Hey, we're trying to make money for this next quarter. We want to show real growth."
Jennifer Salke got shown the ropes. So.
Right. We want to show growth. We want to actually do something with this catalog. And they basically gave them carte blanche. They went to Brad Wright. Brad Wright sent him to Garrow. Garrow was like all over it. He's also, Garrow is probably the best guy to do it because he's in the United States. That's always helpful. Okay. And he's younger. And I think he has Stargate in his DNA. Like, Stargate taught him how to make TV. It's same like Terry Metalis learned how to make TV working on Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Enterprise, right? Same with Garrow. Garrow learned how to make TV working on Stargate. That was his first job, his first real job. So, boom, next thing you know, they get a Bible together, and it's Joe Malazzi, Brad Wright, and Garrow, the original guys, most original guys, and they actually set up a real Bible. They have a pitch. They go to Amazon. Amazon approves it. It's greenlit. Boom, boom, boom. And here we are. And so we have a greenlit series that is going to be a new chapter in the Stargate universe, but it's not a reboot. It's legit a revival. And this is the most important part, real time has passed. So the amount of time that passed in real life is what passed in the Stargate universe. We're not going back to the beginning of the Stargate or 500 years in the future or whatever. It's real life right now on this planet Earth, and the same amount of time that passed in Stargate since the time 14, 15 years, whatever, is what passed in real life there. So it's legitimate continuation of the Stargate we love with the original creators of the Stargate we love and extra people. They also have Dean Devlin and Rowan Emmerich, but to be fair, I'm pretty sure that's in their contract. They have
Atlantis is a tourist attraction in San Francisco.
Who knows? I don't think they're going to keep Atlantis in San Francisco. I believe it. And if you look at the Joe Flanagan stuff, like, their ideas was to basically put Atlantis back into space, and that was sort of a cool idea. But I can see some issues with that, like budget wise. That's an expensive thing to shoot. Like, all of a sudden you have Stargate Atlantis Voyager style. I don't know about that, but who knows? Either way, it's a good idea. It's a good. Everything we asked for in our petition, everything we've asked for years, is pretty much happening, and it's super exciting. It's super exciting.
Brian, I got to ask you, because as a non-Stargate fan, there's only one thing I see here that's a bit of a red flag, and that's that this guy that's the head honcho now,
Hero.
Didn't he work on the crappy Quantum Leap reboot that even the Wokey Wokes were like, oh, no, I'm good?
The first season. Yeah.
Okay.
And the first season was mostly liked by people. It's when they really got crazy was in the second season. So I feel like Giro wasn't. I don't think Giro is to blame for the downfall of the Quantum Leap reboot.
And I think you even have a super chat that refers to that if you wanted to just bring it up now, Matt. That's up to you. But yeah.
I'll bring it up to later.
Okay,
Yeah,
then.
because he did work on the first season, and to be fair, he did go back to that original. He tried to get more original creators on board. He tried to get what's his name, the guy from Enterprise, Jonathan Archer.
Michael Jackson.
Bakula.
No. Bakula.
Bakula.
He tried to get Spot Bakula.
Bakula's in this?
No, he tried to get Bakula for the Quantum Leap reboot to reprise his role.
Yeah,
he
I
actually
know.
did.
Yeah.
We actually did a whole video on it because they went to Bakula, and Bakula was like, "Yeah, you know what? I
I'm
don't
good.
see how this is nothing but a glorified cameo, and either I'm part of the show as a real character or I'm not." And to be
I
fair,
have the original script, and he was a little bit more into like the whole opening of like from my memory from reading it before they rewrote it was like the whole point was they were trying to get Sam back. Like that
they
was
were
the
trying
whole.
to find Sam.
Yeah, they were
it was
whole-
the search
yeah,
for
so-
Sam. Yeah, which would have been really cool had Bakula actually joined up. And I think Gira would have had more power had he had Bakula on his team, but he had less power than I think people realize.
Yeah. Also, that was NBC, and they're just a mess over there.
They're a mess.
John, I know that you're a big Stargate guy as well. In fact, you and Brian
Yeah.
are doing a big rewatch of all like the Stargate seasons.
Yeah.
So what's your reaction to this news?
This was Christmas come early for me. I was really happy when I got in and literally the announcement popped up. It was similar to Brian, really. I was always concerned about the rumors about it coming back, and there was the talk of reboot, which I never wanted because I didn't want them getting rid of all of the lore of the show that is just so great. And I also wanted Brad Wright back, and I wanted Joe Malossi back as well, and I got that. And they're consulting producers, so I'm really excited about it.
And
I'm interested to see where they go.
Joe Malossi is such a good guy. He's such he's been keeping this while working on other things. He's been keeping like the Stargate fandom fed. He has a whole entire blog where he just gives all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, pictures, spec art. The guy has been relentlessly keeping Stargate alive this entire time.
Let's not forget what he's put in his web blog this week. You know about it.
Yeah.
He's a crafty devil. He's put Chevron 8 locked.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. That's
So
a little
if
wink
you're a
to go, we're
Stargate
going
fan,
somewhere else. Yeah.
It's supposed to be 7th Chevron locked. So what does 8th Chevron mean? New galaxy, maybe? Because that's what happens when we went to Atlantis.
Yeah.
Right. We needed the 8th Chevron to go to Atlantis. So is it a different alpha site? I mean, there's so many things, and you know what that dude's doing. He's too smart not to have just gotten the number wrong.
I also think with Martin Gira and like Tom's comment as well about the Quantum Leap show, I think the thing that gives me confidence about a new Star Trek series with him helming it is because, he wrote some great Star Trek episodes that I love. I mean, there's 2 Stargate Atlantis episodes, which is The Storm and The Eye. And I adore them.
Yeah, it's so good.
So
It's basically
really is
Die Hard on Atlantis.
it's Die Hard in
it's so
Atlantis.
good.
Yes. It's
And-
so good.
and he wrote them.
I hope we get Flanagan. Like Flanagan
Yeah.
has been desperate to be part of Stargate this entire time. And it would be really
I hope
nice
they bring
to-
Hewlett back too.
So do
yeah.
I. Yeah, I want. Look. We know that Momoa is not coming back to Atlantis. That's fine. Okay, that's cool. But
Never say
Flanagan,
never.
Flanagan
My
and
man.
Hewitt, they deserve some Stargate love. They've been around for a while and they've been holding it down.
Well, I think from what I got from what Joe certainly said in his blog, I do get the feeling this is just my opinion of what I think is going to happen. They're going to establish this new series that it stands on its own, but then from there, if they make a success of that, I think we will see legacy characters coming back into the series and there'll be cameos. I think we will get, if it's successful, we will get a wrap up, of universe. I think we'll also get a resolution to what happened with Atlantis as well, because one thing I think about Brad Wright and certainly Joe Malossi is they don't like loose ends. So
They don't.
even if they just mention it and you don't see it.
So my
They'll do
question, real quick, John, real quick though,
Hmm.
is it like you can mention what happened to Atlantis? That's fine. Or Atlantis went back to the Pegasus Galaxy, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that, but you really can't mention off the end of universe. That can't be some exposition that they talked about in an SGC meeting or whatever. That has to be something shown on screen. So I'm not sure if they're smart, maybe they just ignore a universe until they get a second season pickup.
Guys, what are the odds that Robert Picardo comes back?
Oh, 100%. The guy wants to work so bad. The guy will
Unlike
work in
Academy.
anything. He'll even work in a show where they are actively demeaning him in every frame. He doesn't care. Picardo will do whatever. I'm almost positive that if I had enough money, I can get Picardo to come serve me food at my house.
No, that's a show.
As Woosley, as the actual character in full uniform.
But I mean, they've also talked about the fact that they now have the budget that they didn't have at the time, so they had to turn quite a lot of stuff down that they wanted.
Well, they also have AI now.
Yeah, exactly. AI.
I don't know. Malazi is really not a fan of AI though, so.
I mean, like for special effects work, I'm sure that they could figure it out.
Yeah, Brad Wright said that. He goes, everything that I had to always tell them no on because it was either too expensive or too difficult or not possible is no longer a concern. We can do whatever we want now. Yeah. And you're right. They couldn't really do, late 90s, early 2000s. There's limits to what you can do. I mean, you go back and look at some of the SG-1. Yeah, some of the graphics hold up, but some of the graphics really don't. And
do you think Amanda Tapping's character is going to be the president?
No, she's too smart to be president.
I've heard rumors about someone was saying that they'd heard possibly, I don't believe it, but General Carter, which I could see that happening.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
she was consistently ranking up in the show anyways. It makes complete sense.
And I know someone in the chat said Richard Dean Anderson 75, but he was a general at the end of SG-1 anyway, so he could easily come back at just
he also checked out. So.
I think RDA is retired, and that's okay. As much as I love Richard Dean Anderson, it's okay if he doesn't come back for a cameo, guys.
Yeah. He loves Brad. Rest. If anyone could get him back, Brad could.
Yeah, Brad. Oh yeah, Brad got him on live stream with the companion. When Brad Wright first broke that he gave a spec script away and they ghosted him because they didn't like it, and you have this shot of Richard D. Anderson going like this, making the weirdest face because he. If anyone can get RDA back, it'd be Brad Wright. But I think it's okay. Let RDA sleep, dude. He's tired.
I'm pretty sure Christopher Judge would probably come back for it.
Christopher Judge, what else is he doing, bro? He's doing a lot of stuff right now.
Michael Shanks.
Yeah. Michael Shanks, 100%. He's not doing nothing. Except for being an awesome husband to that really attractive wife of his.
Lexa Doig, yeah.
It'd be cool. Gracious. It'd be cool if Ben Browder and Claudia Black came back for it.
Claudia Black is easily coming back, but I doubt Ben Browder.
Yeah, but I want to throw this to Odin. Odin, what's your take on the revival of Stargate?
Well, my question really is more of like, where do I start for Stargate? Because I've never seen it. I have no knowledge of it. And so I figured...
come to our watch parties every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. PST. Come join us. Yep. We're on season 3 of SG-1 right now.
Oh, yes, because I have that free time.
Yeah, I was going to say, no one's got time for that, Brian. So, Odin, to answer your question real quick, so the original Stargate movie is canon for the TV show.
Yeah, okay, canon.
Gotcha.
So what you want to do is you want to watch the original Stargate movie, and then start with SG-1 season 1.
And then when you get to season 7, you go alternate SG-1 at Atlantis.
Yeah.
Well, let me get through the movie in season 1 first, and then I'll go to you and.
Odin, do me a favor though.
So 1 through 7, seasons 1 through 7 are fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you start your watch of SG-1, okay.
Yeah.
I will give you the link to my personal Plex where you can watch it in 4K and not in whatever bastardized 4:3 aspect ratio is on Prime right now.
Bro, I'm not gonna watch it on Prime. Are you kidding me? Bro. Radar. Rawr.
Oh, I see. Then in that case, then you need to search for YTX YTS 1080.
Oh, I know of YT. I know of
SG1.
YTS.
Okay,
I know of
all right.
YTS.
You know what's up. You know what's up.
I know what's up.
All
man.
I'm saying is
Yeah.
get the 16:9 ratio and do not get the 4:3 aspect ratio. They suck. They're really bad, bro.
Man, I always go for the highest quality at the lowest size.
I do have it though. Like if you have a hard time finding it, I can give
Well,
it to
I
you.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
As a friend who also owns all the box sets, I'm not doing anything illegal here. I'm loaning a copy to a friend.
So Odin,
Right there. It's all right there. See that?
Odin, Amazon Prime has been desperate for like some type of like franchise that they can like really sink their teeth into. They tried it with Lord of the Rings, didn't quite work. They've been trying it with the Citadel, that didn't work out either. Now that Jennifer Salke's gone with all of her bad takes and bad decisions, it seems like that they're finally kind of like getting their act together. And I think that this is their first real overture towards trying to create like a franchise that people actually care about that would get them to subscribe to the service. What's your take on that?
I mean, again, I don't know how large the Stargate audience is. So I don't want to like I imagine, would it be fair to say that it's more of a niche franchise, like
Dude,
not like a Star Wars or Star Trek?
Large enough for my channel to go 800%.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but like what I mean is like not the size of a
Insane.
Star Trek, Star Wars.
So Odin, like they have
Yeah.
their own conventions around
Okay.
the world,
Okay.
and it's been syndicated around the world for like decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's very popular.
So yeah, knowing
it's
that,
huge.
okay, yeah. So knowing that, I mean, obviously that, you know, they clearly are trying to appease that. But then kind of to Brian's point as well, I don't think the way that you appease to them is by giving them access to content that is not going to give you the best quality to be able to watch. And as far as like the whole like aspect of continuing on the story, I've always been the same with any IP. As long as you've got people that actually love it, that actually are going to respect the source material, that are actually going to build and not deconstruct, then I'm all for it. And since I am not like a fan of this because I have not consumed it yet myself, but I'm obviously have written down my plan to start, that I will always go towards whatever, in this case, you know, Brian being as much of a lover of it as he is, and John Yulden as being a lover of it as he is, I will go with what they think is the best case scenario. But again, as long as you got people that love it, typically you're in pretty safe hands.
Well, Odin, what makes Stargate so interesting is that it's set in modern day. It's not like in the future, right? It's basically like it's alien technology, but it's like all the characters are contemporaries of ours. It's like you and I could go through the Stargate and have an adventure type thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of makes it different from like Star Wars or Star Trek or like whatever. It's basically
they
like
literally have a Stargate show in that universe called Wormhole X.
Oh,
where
nice.
they consult
Great.
on as the Air Force because they want like it's almost like a psyop where they allow it to exist because it takes away from rumors of the SG program. It's very cool.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
Hilarious.
Which makes me think, wait a minute, what's going on in Cheyenne Mountain, dude? Are they just spelling it plain that there's a Stargate program? What's going on?
Brian, you know one of my favorite episodes is the guy who does Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Like so he plays this barber and he somehow gets mind linked with
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years with O'Neill.
O'Neill, yeah.
General O'Neill, Richard Dean Anderson. And so like this Midwestern barber just keeps having these visions of like crazy space adventures, and nobody believes him when he tries writing a sci-fi book and stuff like that.
He's literally getting like his wife is divorcing him.
Yeah. but it turns out that like his mind of just being a Midwestern barber was also being shared with O'Neill, and O'Neill just enjoyed the boringness of it because his life was so crazy.
Yeah, because O'Neill is like he has a stressful job where he has to fight aliens on a weekly basis. He was enjoying the boredom of a Midwestern barber. That reveal at the end was the best part of the entire episode. I was seeing his life the whole time. I thought it was just great dreams.
It was that comment at the end where he says, he's actually been seeing him in his bowling league for like 7 years. And O'Neill he goes, you got a mean score on you. And they look at him and they go, "You've been watching another guy bowling for 7 years." And he's like, "I found it soothing."
Yeah, found it soothing.
The fact that O'Neill didn't even bring it up because he was enjoying it is so funny to me.
It really that thing just always stuck in my head. Ever since I saw that episode, I was like, yeah, that tracks. Like if I was in O'Neill's position, it'd be the same thing.
O'Neill is such a great character because like they leaned into the art. So Richard D. Anderson, he honestly doesn't give a crap about anything.
Yeah.
So like because he doesn't really care, they leaned into that and they allowed him to just sort of be himself, right?
Well, it's funny because so he's got all that MacGyver money, so he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
But at the same time, so like when he signed on, he was like the biggest name attached to like the TV show. But he started the show trying to like kind of recreate the character that Kurt Russell made in the movie. But then like over time, like he just like made it his own thing, and he became Richard Dean Anderson. Basically, Richard Dean Anderson just showed up and played himself at a certain point.
He started playing Kurt Russell, and then slowly just sort of, I guess, evolved into just himself as O'Neill.
Yeah.
And there's this episode where he's invisible, and what would RDA do if he was invisible? Everything he did in that episode. And there's this moment where Samantha Carter is in like the shower, and you hear like a noise, and she goes, and she opens the curtain, she goes, "Sir, are you there?" And he's like, "No."
I will say, guys, quickly, with regards to the damage that other IPs are suffering from at the moment, it's actually quite a shrewd move to bring Brad Wright and Joe Malossi and co back, because if they do it right, this could shoot up there as being one of the most successful properties going forward. It could really be a big success and take off even more than it did previously.
Can I give some insight on? I'm not sure if I'm going to say it, but I'm just going to say it. We only got 193 people watching, so my contact at Amazon did say that the new leadership that they've been working with are so much more interested in creatives doing what they do best and not being hands-on. It's very interesting, the dynamic that's going on at Amazon Studios right now. They're allowing creators to either fail or succeed based on their vision versus getting involved the way Jennifer did. It's either gonna be great or it's not gonna be great. But all the pieces are there to make this version of Stargate really special. So unless Giro all of a sudden becomes some like woke crazy DEI guy, I think we're in good hands.
Well, I want to ask Tom what he thinks about this news. If he's still there. He's still
Tom
with
fell
us.
asleep.
He did say that he had very little to say about it, so
Yeah.
I will.
But I want to hear just how little he has to say.
I think the silence is speaking for it.
Like last year, we were talking about some of this stuff, and Tom does have insights into Stargate that even I didn't know about. So like he has something to say if he's there, because like I remember last year, like last summer, like over a year ago, we were sharing notes, and he has insights. I'm just saying, Tom, if you're there, it'd be a great time for you to speak up. You're making me look stupid, bro. He's not.
Well, speaking of making Brian look stupid, like, were you jealous at all that Gate World and all those other YouTube channels got?
Not at all, bro. No, Darren is absolutely. He's a BAMF. But Darren he started Gate World on a website with front page. You know what that is, Kadish? You know what front page is, right?
Oh yeah.
His website started with front page. Okay. The lowest form of HTML. This guy started a fan website before there was fans of Stargate. The guy has been holding onto this torch for decades. And when YouTube came out, he was the only guy doing it for decades. And his partner religiously archiving interviews for 20 years. If anyone gets the setup for this, Darren deserves it. 100%. Bro.
Yeah.
Darren he is the original Stargate fan. And as much of a fan as I am, and as many views as I've gotten, and I'm sorry, Darren, that I've gotten more views than you. It's not my fault. Blame my brother. Let me tell you something. You deserve way more than us to get the inside scoop on this. And I when I first saw the announcement and I saw Darren's face, I was legitimately happy for him, dude. The guy's been working for 22 years on Stargate.
Yeah.
That's a long freaking time.
Do you know the other good thing about that as well that I was going to drop into the conversation was it's nice also to have them doing it with Dial the Gate and Gate World. And they're not like being what other productions have been, where they've been antagonistic towards existing fans. They're actually saying, look, you guys have kept it going. You know, this is going to honor what original fans of Stargate loved, and we're going to take it forward as well. So it's the tone, the way they're speaking to fans is positive for me as well at the moment. You know, unlike, you know what it's been like the last few years, you know, well, if you don't like it, get stuffed, that kind of mentality. Whereas these guys haven't done that. So
no, they went directly to like the original. They went to the guys that have been holding it down for decades. And to Darren's credit too, like Darren didn't get angry with us that we reported on their stuff. He didn't get angry that he applauded it. Darren has always been the guy. He's not competing with people. He's never competed with anyone. When we did our first documentary, which was Stargate, he didn't like ignore our DMs when we had 200 subscribers. No, he promoted it. He threw it up on his blog. He's like, look what these guys did. The guy is not about competing for views or clicks. He's about promoting the Stargate. He completely deserves every single thing that they're giving him. 100%.
All right. Tom, I saw you popped on real quick. Are you there now? Want to give your very few rare thoughts on the Stargate news? Bueller?
He's ordering the box set right now, isn't he? That's what he's doing.
He's already got the box set. I can guarantee you that on Blu-ray. All right. Well, in the meantime, we got some super chats to get to. Fluffy Panda for $2. How to solve DC into all. Do Batman Beyond.
I don't disagree with that, but I like current DC, so
there you go.
But Batman Beyond, I would literally give like one of my toes to see a live action Batman Beyond.
Which toe?
A pinky. I want to be able to walk.
Ruby Hoove has gifted one Salty Nerd podcast membership. Thank you so much, Ruby Hoove. Mark's 47 for $2. I remember being excited that Garrow was doing Quantum Leap.
Yeah, that's fair. Quantum Leap season 2 went off the rails, dude. That's 100% fair. But to be fair, also with Garrow, he was mostly involved with season 1. Season 2 was an outlier.
Also, Blind Spot was kind of good, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude. The premise is so boring, but he's somehow made it work. Like, it's not a bad show at all. It's a good show, and the premise is, I think the premise on itself is on its face is sort of rotten. It doesn't really work. How can you make an entire 5 seasons out of this one incident? Like that needed to be a movie, not a fucking series. I don't understand what the problem is.
And then we got Scotty Dub for $9.99. A West Country man. Dorset is a lovely place. My apologies, John.
Well, he lives in a ditch, though, right, John?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, John lives in a ditch. But you guys don't know this, but John lives in a ditch, so it's not that nice.
Yeah, I feed out of bins.
There you go. And John Wayne, 1985 for $10. After how much Amazon has botched so many television returns, I will no longer give them the benefit of the doubt. I will wait until the entire new Stargate series is done and then make my decision.
I don't know, man. Didn't they pay for Leverage to return? Like, that was done as well as Leverage could be done. I mean, they have wins. Amazon has wins.
Yeah,
The Expanse is the win for sure. Yeah. Like, Reacher's a great show. Like, you got to remember, like, the leadership changes.
Paramount, though, ain't it?
What's that? I don't know. It was on Amazon.
Sure.
I'm not sure who made it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah.
But the thing is, like, Amazon, just like any other studio, has leadership that comes and goes, and the current leadership is in a better place than it was before. And even before, it was hit or miss at best, but it wasn't completely bad.
All right. Speaking of not completely bad, Caveat Ties for $2. They need Richard Dean Anderson.
They ain't gonna get him, dude. I'm sorry.
I think he's retired. He's living high off that MacGyver money.
The guy has hair down to his mid back. He's chilling, bro.
Yeah.
Brian knows that.
I do.
I don't know. I don't want to know how you know that, mate.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that sometimes I'm at his house when he's sleeping, but
Oh.
sometimes I'm at his house when he's sleeping.
Yeah, it's coming in through
He's
the
gained a
window.
lot of weight. He enjoys
Brian
Twinkies.
just sits there and strokes his hair.
I
while
gotta
He
he's
watches a lot of
Somebody's
Simpsons.
watching me.
He puts the lotion on.
Richard, it's okay. You're a
John
dream.
Wayne, 1985, for $10. The creatives might have all the best intentions, but the real question is whether or not Amazon will allow them to cook without introducing unnecessary ingredients.
You're
It doesn't
100%
sound right when it's not John Wayne saying it. It should be like,
You're
I'm
100% right.
pretty sure Gay
All right.
World has great information on watch order for Stargate.
By the way, I was wrong. It's not season 7. See, what you want to do is you want to watch SG1 all the way to season 8, and then you alternate between episode 8, episode 1 of season 8, episode 1 of season 1 for Atlantis and SG1. Just alternate.
Well,
I love the way Odin's writing this down. It's almost like he's got a challenge to try and complete it this week.
There's
Well,
no way you
because
do it.
I'm off for school this week, and so I'll have at least the first few days of like nothing. I mean, I'm gonna be doing stuff around the house, but I will have more free time to be able to actually watch something like this.
Oh,
so.
no,
Yeah.
I literally envy you right now. For the first time since I've known you, I envy you that you get to watch Stargate for the first time.
I was gonna say, it's like because I get off. It's like, yeah, but try being in the classroom. A bunch of 16-year-olds.
No, I do not envy you. Envy you in classrooms. I don't want to.
Odin, it's interesting because like when you watch the movie and then you go right from the movie into the first episode of the show,
It's perfect.
it's such a seamless transition into like this
Yes.
much bigger story arc.
Nice.
It's really well done.
Can I say something on that point? So the movie, and I literally had this conversation with Shane yesterday. The movie is so great, but it leaves you wanting so much more. Like it feels like the movie promises you this like rich universe, but it only shows you a little tiny sliver of it, and you end the movie like, I need more of this. I need to see what's more. How does this work? It promises a lot and just delivers something that's more like an appetizer.
Oh.
And then you go into the first episode of SG1, and it's like everything you're asking for starts to open up. And it's a brilliant transition. And they literally transition from the first scene. It's like perfect.
But you know what's also great about the movie is that it's kind of like I remember when the movie came out, I saw it in the theater. It's really kind of a throwback to those like 80s sci-fi adventure movies from like Spielberg and Lucas and stuff like that. Because like it's not like it's something that you can definitely watch with the family, but at the same time it had that it captured that feeling, right? Of wonder and excitement and
The grand adventure. Yeah.
Exactly.
The hero's journey.
And
A lot of
Gina
people-
Spader-
A lot of people kind of hate on the movie. I never got that because I always thought that the movie was really, really good.
I mean, if you
great.
compare it to the show, then yeah, it's not as good. But if you
I think-
if you play it alongside the show, it's a perfect companion.
I will also say as well that, you know, I love Kurt Russell and James Spader as actors, but Michael Shanks and Richard Dean Anderson do such a good job. You don't go into it and think, oh, I'm missing Kurt Russell and I'm missing James Spader.
Well, Michael
chemistry
Shanks
is
was
obviously-
cast specifically because he did the best James Spader impression.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah. And it makes
He
sense.
looks
that
like
you
the
want,
guy.
You want
then he
the
got
guy
jacked
who's
in
going to
later
play
seasons.
Spader. And Spader does so well in that movie because he starts off as like this sort of like this goober that has like, you know, bad allergies, sort of cowardly, but he's real smart. And because of his experiences with the O'Neill character, he becomes like, you see his entire journey. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you, Odin, but like there's a moment where I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to stop. But you see, I'll ruin it right now if I say what I'm going to say. But you see his journey from like this sort of goober into this man of action is really well done. And Spader is one of those few actors that could have pulled it off. So it was smart when they go, hey, Michael Shanks, give us your best James Spader impersonation. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Do you know, Odin's going to watch it, and just as he's about to watch each episode, there's going to be a DM that pops up from Brian just spoiling it, and he'll be like, "What are you doing, man?"
All right. John Coman for $5. Love Stargate as a kid. It was one of the reasons I chose to join the Air Force over the other branches, although I imagine the Space Force has Stargate Command now.
So it's funny.
Cheyenne Mountain,
So
isn't it?
in Cheyenne Mountain, which is a real place, it's NORAD, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you go do a tour, you can tour Cheyenne Mountain, and they have like a tour for tourists, right? And you go through it, and there's a door on your tour that says in bold letters in a plaque, Stargate Command. And they tell you in that tour, sorry, that's off limits. What's funny is one time someone opened that door and it was just a maintenance closet.
Well, what's funny is I don't think Don S. Davies gets enough love because, like, you know, he was original General Hammond of Stargate Command, and the guy basically made a career pretending to be an Air Force general because he was an Air Force general in Twin Peaks as well. But he was such an interesting character. And then there was that guy who was always like the guy who ran the Stargate, and he'd like announce like the chevrons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy. I hope they bring him back.
Yeah.
Listen, I always told John this. If I ever get wealthy enough, I'm going to hire Walter just to announce everything I'm doing. Like, I'm just going to hire him to be my herald everywhere I go. Like, that's what I want. That's my dream state. My wife thinks I'm nuts, but that's all I want. I want to get rich enough to hire Walter to be my herald.
Get him dialing out for you on your phone, going Chevron 1 encoded.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny because, like, you guys remember Sigourney Weaver's thing in Galaxy Quest, where like she just like repeated what the computer said.
Right.
It's like that's the same. That's Walter's job.
One job.
All right, and then finally, Latino Slant for $1.99. Tom, QWWR. Quir. Quiet.
Unscaled awkward activation. Yep. Every time someone knocks on our door, unscaled awkward activation.
All right. So, Tom, I know that you're back. Do you want to wrap anything up with the Stargate talk before we move on?
I have very little or nothing to say about Stargate. I appreciate the fandom. It's a really cool, smaller fandom, like somewhere, you know, under Star Trek probably. And they're very, I wouldn't say rabid. I hate that word. But they're very loyal, very loyal, and they love it. And I hope this works out for them. I'm not like, I've only seen the movie ever, so I never really got into the show, but I can see the appeal. And hopefully this turns out good, because Amazon's, you know, the MGM sale, they only have a few things to really do anything with, kind of like with Fox. And if you're not going to do anything with them, then let somebody who wants to do something with them. And this is something I know Stargate, Brian's talked about it for years. He's been on top of it. So if anything, check out his reporting on it going forward, because I think that's where you get a lot of the scoops from. But
that might be the first time Tom has ever promoted my channel. I appreciate that, Tom.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Get your facts in front of you.
I literally have like 12 videos that have covered every single piece of news for Stargate for like the last 8 years. So.
Real quick, guys, I want to wrap up on this topic before we get going. But Disney Plus has announced that they're looking into fostering user-generated AI content. And this is kind of an interesting development, especially considering how anti-AI a lot of Hollywood is. But Bob Iger basically said that on Disney Plus, they're going to have some type of like interactive thing where users can use AI to generate their own content, possibly with Disney IP. And this is kind of like a big about face. Nobody knows if it's like a team up with OpenAI or like who exactly the AI service is going to be that runs this. But I feel like Bob Iger knows that Disney Plus is in trouble. And so they're trying to make it more like a social platform where people get it on their phones and they can create this content, put it up there for other people to view, so Disney doesn't have to spend as much as on content. They can also use it as kind of like a content factory to kind of find people that they might want to hire to make more content and stuff like that. But this is just more kind of like proof that Hollywood is eventually going to go towards user-generated content for a lot of these streaming services, and also get more people on their apps and things of that nature, which means that more mobile dramas or the vertical drama type stuff is probably going to be taking hold. So I just wanted to get the panel's quick opinions on this. Let's start with Odin. Odin, do you think that this is just a desperate move by a dying streaming service to try to get people to subscribe and use it?
I thought we talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Nope.
I feel like I've talked about this before. I'm having like this weird deja vu. But yeah, it's a bad idea, only in as much that it is, I think, going to backfire on them, because people are going to just connect AI with Disney content and then realize that they can make better content than Disney can. And I just think that even if they somehow are able to self-contain it to their own stuff, that I think is going to create a big problem
And
for
porn.
them. Yeah, amongst other
There's
things.
gonna be so much
Unfortunately,
porn.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So much.
Mickey Mouse
That's
So
porn.
much. Yeah.
And
Mickey
so I think it's a bad
Mouse
idea.
Having
and
sex with Simba or something. It's gonna be bad.
Oh no. And I think that, again, it's going to remind everybody about why Disney has been has made some of the worst decisions when it comes to their content, especially since the pandemic, right, with putting all their money and all their eggs in the streaming basket, and that's been an epic failure for them, and all those other things. I think that this is just going to be yet another Disney failure.
Tom, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys caught the last episode of South Park, but I mean, I know they lost a lot of people, although the ratings are doing well still. I know they did lose a lot of their fans with this whole political thing lately, but they did an episode on AI recently, and that's pretty much the joke of the whole episode is every time somebody does something with the AI, they basically just have people doing sexual things, right? Like the whole thing is the whole episode. Is like,
Have you not been on the internet? Like,
exactly. So like we know that's what's going to happen. You're going to have Belle and Ariel and
Right.
you know, one of the other princesses in a three-way with
Oh, yeah.
Olaf the snowman,
So many orgies.
using his carrots in ways you don't want to think about Odin.
Yeah.
Just Odin. Everybody else can.
Oh, I watched that episode of South Park, so I know what you're talking about. So.
Yeah. So I mean, that part was kind of clever. It's like, this is what you guys are supposed to be doing, not the other shit. But like, I got the joke with the other shit already. You're just doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that being said, yeah, like this AI thing, I laugh every time we talk about it, because, you know, it's like Hollywood is the only one who's panicking right now. And it's like, you know, the music industry has already done panic, but nobody's there to really hear them whine. The people that should be worrying are the blue collar people, the people that are working in industries where if you do something that's very redundant, an AI is going to replace your job. If you work in customer service, an AI is going to replace your job. If you work in fast food or the service industry, chances are AI is going to replace your job. We need to start worrying about this more than fuck Hollywood. They're just going to find a way to use it. And they're going to be the only ones who are going to be able to regulate it, because they'll be like, well, we own the copyrights on all this shit. We've already seen some of the lawsuits coming out. And the problem with a lot of these AIs is they have to be able to be trained on something, right? Mm-hmm. So like Suno, for instance, I think they settled or something's going on with it, but
That was Udio.
It was Udio, whatever went. Well,
Yeah.
I was talking about like the music thing, because the music thing is they're like, okay, it's fine that you're creating new music and you won't allow people to upload, you know, other music, but what music did you use to originally train it with? And that's what the music industry asked, and they're like, you know, that's where the question comes in. So these people are using copyrightable material to train these AIs. So unless Disney owns it and trains it with their own material, that's where these problems are going to come into play. Now, the studios need to embrace this shit at the same time. Because I've said this before, the next big step with this is going to be personal created content, but they need to be able to regulate it. So what it's going to be is stuff like, you'll take like a 3D image of your kid, like take the camera and put it around their face, and then you'll take a voice sample, and then you'll go into the app and you'll go, okay, boom, 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 and you'll turn on the TV and your kid will watch Star Wars, and they're Luke Skywalker. Their voice, their face, everything. That's going to be the next step. You won't be able to change the content itself personally, but I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. They're going to find ways to box it in to where you can't create the porn and shit like that. That's what they're going to have to do. Yeah, guardrails, exactly.
Yeah, the thing is, though, just like with the music, so the music stuff is unenforceable. Like, you cannot stop it. No, unless they really go hard and increase the amount of automated copyright claims they can do on music to the point where it's going to be copyright claiming Tom's voice because he happens to sound like a F sharp. Like, there's no way they can possibly police the music. And just like that, there's almost no way you can automatically, with automation, police the video stuff. So either embrace it and get out of the way, because it's already here to stay, you know, or you're just going to be losing out. There's no way you can stop people from using it.
Brian, what's interesting, and, you know, we've talked a lot about like the future of AI with Hollywood, in particular actors who are quite anti-AI, but it came out this past week that Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine inked a deal with 11 Labs, which is like the number one kind of like voice cloning AI voice thing. And basically now you can go on 11 Labs and pay extra money to utilize their voices for like audiobooks or podcasts or like whatever it is you want to do. And I actually think that this is like the future for a lot of actors where they like license out their digital like voice rights or likeness rights or like whatever. So
Until
that
there's
people
no
can,
more
It sounds
actors
good,
left.
by the way,
Until
because
there's
I
no
have 11
actors
Labs.
left. What happens when all like the famous ones that we want to hear are the ones everyone's using, and there's no new stars being made because everything's AI? That's gonna happen.
Well, you look at YouTube. You look at
Why
YouTube
would I,
now,
why
and
would
you've
I
got.
hire someone that's an up and comer when I can use Matthew freaking McConaughey?
Well, you look at YouTube now, and you've got a lot of the videos. You know, whether the AI created videos doing a review of a movie, say from the 50s, and they've got the AI script with the voice on it. You know, that is going to be used going forward quite a lot, isn't it? You know, like you say, McConaughey is reading your script and your review of the movie. It's all coming. But
there's also added cost to these things, right? So like you have your 11 Labs subscription, but if you want to use Michael Caine's voice, right, you're going to have to pay a premium to use his voice. And so like it's going to be a marketplace of voices. Brian said, like, why would I want to get young up and comer? And it's like, well, because he's cheaper, you know? But I also want to throw this out to the panel. I don't know if you guys saw what Elon Musk has been saying lately, but he's like, the combination of AI and robotics is basically leading humanity towards a jobless society where everyone has like this universal base income, because all the manual labor and all that other stuff has been replaced by robots, and we're getting closer to like kind of like the Star Trek, you know, kind of like egalitarian society where you can just pursue your passions as opposed to having doing manual labor. Stuff is provided for you for free, all this other stuff, because you're basically eliminating the cost of labor and all that other stuff. What do you guys think about that?
I believe him once his Optimus robots actually work autonomously versus being controlled by some dude in a headset at the Tesla factory. I mean, right now, AI is more advanced than the robotics tech. In fact, the power required, the power you need to actually power these things is we don't have the battery technology yet to actually power these things. Like they would have to, what were they going to last for an hour and a half before they got to be plugged in?
I mean, like right now, but like
only work for an hour and a half.
Like let's say 50 years from now, like with
maybe
all these
50 years from now
stuff.
when they're working on nanotube batteries, but they've been trying to break this limitation for 25 years. And we've been stuck at the best thing we can do for a battery is some kind of lithium, non-renewable lithium version of a battery that does not last long enough. We need an arc reactor. We need like some real battery breakthrough.
We need a ZPM.
We need a ZPM before actual robots can be something that you utilize daily. Because at this point, if you create a robot that has the capability of doing what a person can do without being controlled by someone in a lab somewhere, you're talking about like, oh yeah, you got 45 minutes of work time from old Optimus before he's got charged for 6 hours. I mean, we're a far way away from robots doing stuff from us. I know everyone wants to talk about it because that's like the future. That's bleeding edge or whatever. But we're so far away. And not to mention, AI isn't even artificial intelligence yet. Right now, it's ANI. It's artificial narrow intelligence. And that's the best we're going to get. We're not going to get to AGI for a decade. And then when we do get to AGI, that's going to be a whole other can of worms, because AGI is never going to be as good as ANI. ANI is basically a very specific tool to do this very specific thing. And that's what we use. That's what ChatGPT is. It's artificial narrow intelligence. AGI is a Swiss Army knife of stuff that it can do everything, but it's not as good at everything. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. Do you want an AI that is just okay at everything, or an AI that's really good at this one thing? ANI is the future, not AGI. And in order to have robots be actually useful, they have to have the battery power to work, the technology we needed to actually get them to be able to manipulate things without breaking them, and all those robotic breakthroughs. But then we need AGI that's smart enough for them to be able to reason. It's 50 plus years away.
Well, everyone,
I'll be dead before we see a robot in a home.
We here at the Salty Saturday show are really good at one thing, and that's talking about stuff no one cares about. And we talked about it today. So thank you all so much for coming by. Odin from ONB Reviews, any final thoughts, and where can people find more of you?
Yeah, you can find me at OMB Reviews on YouTube, over on X and Rumble as well. Box Office Breakdown coming out tomorrow around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And also I write for geeksandgamers.com. Make sure to check out my articles there every week.
All right. And Tom Connors Jr. from Midnight's Edge. Let's piss off Latino Slant by having you say things like final thoughts and where can people find more of you?
Oh, Paulie's favorite movie is The Godfather 3. And you can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark, and other fine places wherever toys are sold.
All right. And Brian and John, you guys are getting ready to hop on over after you pee in cups and do the Brain Show. Brian, What's going on the Brain Show today?
Oh, we're talking about Stargate, more Stargate, plus some politics, plus some entertainment stuff, and it's a little looser today than normal, because I just wanted to talk about Stargate, to be honest.
Right on. And John, I want to thank you for showing up last minute to fill in Mr. Butter's slot.
You're welcome.
Any final thoughts, and where can people find more?
John likes filling Mr. Butter's slot.
Yes, he does.
Why do you have to go there, mate? For crying out loud.
Because
I
he's
ask that
Brian
every
man.
week.
I'm never going to be able to watch Dutch Butter's gaming ever again now after that.
Let me tell you a
Fill
thing
that
or two
slot,
about
bro.
filling slots with butter. It's very slippery.
No, it's been great, guys. Thanks for having me on. And other than being on the Brain Show, I've got the Sci-Fi Chronicles, and tomorrow we are doing our Stargate SG-1 watch along. It's season
back.
3, and we are going to rescue Jacob Carter from Sokar. It's going to be a great episode. We do 2 a week. So if you love Stargate or you want to get into Stargate, come along and join us. But thanks, guys. It's been good.
Oh, and before I forget, Odin, there is a tie-in between Stargate and Norse mythology.
There is a
Okay.
big tie-in. It's like the biggest. It's like the huge part of the show.
Okay.
Do you
Speaking
know
of
what?
huge-
The execs are writing the new series right now, and they've seen Odin tonight, and they're going,
Yeah. Speaking of huge parts of the show, want to give a big shout out to Mephisto, Hemorrhoid Hertz, Foxhound, Cole Hauser, Mexican Iron Man, Caveat Ties, Scotty Dub,
Is this a sex thing?
Fluffy Panda, Marks 47, John Wayne 1985, John Coleman, and Latino Slant. Special shout out to Scotty Dub for that huge super chat. Thank you so much, Scotty. Good to see you back. But thank you guys for supporting the show. It really means a lot to us that you guys care enough to donate like you do. And so stay tuned, because through the power of technology, we're going to be sending you right over to the Brain Show right after this. And be sure to join us next Saturday, same salty time, same salty channel, for more Salty Saturdays. And until then, stay salty, my friends.